Let's keep it real. To some extent, the adoption journey will take a personal toll on you. You might find it difficult to keep yourself regulated. There could be times where you're easily triggered. You could experience physical and emotional abuse. There might be times where you feel overwhelmed. You can't breathe. You're out of control. You feel like you're drowning. What do you do? May I suggest you practice respite. Will my adopted child be okay? What will their future look like? Where did I go wrong? Hi neighbor, I'm Tim, an adoptive parent and adoption mentor. If you're a struggling adoptive parent searching for answers in your parenting journey, you're in the right place. I teach Christian adoptive parents how to be okay, even if their kids aren't, by anchoring them in biblical principles. Anchors of hope and healing are on the way. I find it a little sad when I come to the end of one of my journals. Each one represents months of introspection. There are a lot of insights that I don't want to lose as I transition to the next journal. One of the things that I practice as I'm making that transition to the new journal is to go back and do what I call a journal audit. It's where I go back and look at each page that I've written on and look for those things that have helped me navigate some of the challenges I'm going through. This particular journal, I wasn't too many pages into it when I found a list that I had made, a list I had forgotten all about. It was a list of principles that I have practiced to regulate myself and be okay even if my sons are not. It's been 25 years since we began our adoption journey. In some respects, you might say I'm on the other side of it. But to some degree, adoption trauma will always be with me. I don't say that to discourage you. I just want to be real and honest with you. There will be seasons of calm, but there will also be seasons that are not so calm. You don't know when adoption issues will rear their head. In episode 103, I interviewed adoptee Simon Ben. Simon was 40 years old when a teddy bear triggered his adoption issues. I would encourage you to go back and listen to that episode. His story is very compelling. I say this so you'll know that adoption trauma is something that you will live with and your child will live with. But there are principles you can put into practice to help you navigate these challenging times. There's a cartoon I shared in our Facebook community I believe exemplifies the adoption journey and the challenges and storms that you have to navigate. It's a picture of Snoopy and Woodstock on top of Snoopy's doghouse. It's raining, and both characters are dancing. The caption to this says, "Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain." One of my goals for this podcast is to help other adoptive parents dance in the rain. I believe these principles that I've practiced will help you do that. So I've decided to share these with you on a regular basis. I had one principle all ready to share with you today, but the more I thought about it, I realized that personally, I needed to practice another one. So today I want to share with you principle number 7, practice respite. Let's keep it real. To some extent, the adoption journey will take a personal toll on you. You might find it difficult to keep yourself regulated. There could be times where you're easily triggered. You could experience physical and emotional abuse. There might be times where you feel overwhelmed. You can't breathe. You're out of control. You feel like you're drowning. What do you do? May I suggest you practice respite. I love the TV series called The Chosen. It's a TV series about the life of Jesus, and specifically those 12 individuals he chose to be his apostles. I love the interpretation of events I've read about in Scripture. As the creator will tell you, the series is no substitute for Scripture. In fact, what it's done for me is encouraged me to go back and read those events again as I see his interpretation of them. At the time of this recording, the new season is in the theaters. I've debated whether to see the series in the theaters or wait until it comes out on TV. In this particular season, one of my friends is an extra, and I can't wait to hear her experience on the show and where she was in the scenes that she was a part of. Well, I guess my curiosity got the best of me, and I decided to go see the first few episodes in the theater. I wasn't disappointed. It was amazing. I left the theater relaxed. And now, as I mentioned earlier, I want to go back and reread those sections of Scripture that were depicted in the series. Let's talk more about principle number 7, which is to practice respite. I intentionally gave it number 7 because I'm reminded of day number 7 of creation. That was the day God built in a day of rest. It was something he commanded the nation of Israel to observe. They were to observe the Sabbath. God realized his creation needed respite. They needed deliberate time where they did not work. Ask yourself this question. If God knew it was wise for his people to set aside a day to rest, wouldn't it be wise for us to do the same? I think you know the answer. Let's get to the daily doable. Ask yourself, how can I practice respite? There are a number of ways that I practice respite. I don't go to the movies that often, but when I do, it's for something special like The Chosen. But there are other ways that I practice respite. I don't know what that looks like for you. What I want to encourage you to do is to determine those ways that you can practice respite and then deliberately make that a part of your life. Remember, the adoption journey will take a personal toll on you. There can be times where it's hard to keep yourself regulated. It's easy to get triggered. You might experience physical and emotional abuse. There will be times where you'll be overwhelmed. You can't breathe. You're out of control. You feel like you're drowning. What do? You practice respite. I hope you'll take these thoughts and make this application in your life. Practicing this principle has served me well, and I want to be an anchor of encouragement for you and give you some steps that you can take to navigate your adoption journey. That's all for this episode. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Before I go, I would like to extend an invitation for you to become a member of our community. We have a private Facebook group with other adoptive parents who would love to encourage you and support you in your parenting journey. Please see the show notes for the link. Until next time, this is Tim, encouraging you to do what you can now. I hope today's episode encouraged you to face the storms in your parenting journey with courage and confidence. If so, would you please share this episode with another adoptive parent? It would also bless me in the mission of this podcast if you would take a couple of minutes and leave a review for the show on Apple Podcasts. Until next time, this is Tim, encouraging you to do what you can now.